Hi, this is Jeffrey, and today we're going to look at calculators with round buttons. Back in the 1970s, calculators were designed in a very fun and interesting manner. There were a number of manufacturers that had developed designs with rounded buttons. Unfortunately, they don't really do this today, but back then in the 1970s, they did. So the three models that we have to look at today, which are part of my own personal collection, are the Melcor 400 from 1973, the Unicom 104 from 1975, and the Sears 728.58821 from about May of 1974, I believe it was released. But that's a real catchy name, the Sears 728.58821. So let's take a look at each one of these. So the first calculator we're going to look at is the Melcor 400. According to the information that I was able to find, this calculator was released in 1973. I have two differing retail prices as to what it originally sold at. One figure I found was $99.95 and another figure I found was $39.95. So I'm not too sure exactly what the original price was, but that's what's listed on the internet when I did some research. This calculator also resembles another calculator called the Norman 600 version 2. And I also saw on the internet being sold a similar version that was given to Shell Oil employees. Where it says Melcor 400, it said Shell Oil, from what I remember. So that was a special edition given to employees that worked for Shell. Now, this is a very nice calculator. I really like the design of it. As you can see, it has buttons that are in both black on white and white on black. I really like the way they reversed those colors for the number pad. So this is a very highly graphic calculator. It really stands out, and it's really one of the favorites of my collection. Now, as you can see, it has a textured, let's see if we can move this in a bit to see the detail. It has a textured case. It's all plastic. Now, this part in the middle is a metallic material, but the rest of it is plastic. So as you can see, it's actually very nicely done. It's very well designed, and it looks like it's very well manufactured. Now this does work. This calculator does work. So let's turn it on. And there it goes. You can see it. It takes a 9-volt battery. And let's 99987. So you could see it works pretty well. So this calculator is just a very aesthetically pleasing unit. Now let's take a look at the back. It basically has all of the general information, how to operate the calculator, and that was pretty standard in the 1970s. It gave instructions on the back as to all of the basic features of the calculator and how to use it. It gave the serial number, and this is manufactured by Melcor Electronics Corporation, Farmingdale, New York. And it actually says that it is made in the USA. Isn't that incredible? A calculator made in the USA. Well, there were calculators made in the USA back in the 1970s, but today that's a rarity if we manufacture calculators at all in the USA anymore. So this was a very nice calculator. I really like it a lot. It runs on a 9-volt battery, and it's just a very interesting calculator from the early 1970s. So the second calculator we are going to look at is the Unicom Mini 104 Plus Memory. This calculator, as far as I can find out, was released in 1975. As you can see here with the Unicom name, there is the Rockwell symbol, and this calculator was actually manufactured by a subsidiary of Rockwell International, which was the aerospace corporation. This calculator I like very much. It's in very, very good condition. As you can see, the buttons come in 3 different colors: black, white, and red. They're all round buttons. And it does work, so let's turn it on. So you could see that it does work very well. The LEDs light up very, very nicely. And let's take a look at the back of the calculator. So it's pretty typical of calculators in the 1970s with the operating instructions on the back. It takes a 9-volt battery. It is manufactured by Unicom Systems of Rockwell International, Sunnyvale, California, and it is assembled in Mexico. So the case of this calculator is a very basic finish. It's not as fancy as the Melcor 400. It does have a white outline around the number pad. And the buttons do have a very soft feel to them. It is not difficult to press. So that's the Unicom 104 Plus Memory. So the third calculator we're going to look at is the Sears 728-58821. And you have to wonder who came up with that name, because I think they could have probably have come up with a better name than that. Later calculators had numbers and letters such as the Sears, 8M. So they could have made it a little bit more simpler, something easier to remember, something a little bit more catchier than the 728.58821. Anyway, from what I can find out, this calculator was released in May of 1974 at a retail price of $59.95. As you can see, all of the buttons are circular, have a circular raised number on a white square number key. Now, as for the design, there is some glossy finish on the top part, and the rest is mainly a flat finish with a texture. There is a texture on it. Now this calculator runs on AA batteries, unlike the others that run on a 9-volt battery. So as you can see on the back of the calculator, there's also the typical operating instructions, which we saw both on the Melcor and the Unicom. So this calculator, let's take a closer look. Was assembled in Mexico. Serial number 219786. Now, this calculator does work, but not all that well. Sometimes when you press the buttons, I think there's a problem with the number 5 button. So it does work, but not as good as the other calculators. The buttons, when you press it, it does have a clicky sound to it. So it's different from the Unicom, which had a very, very soft sound to it and a soft feel to it when you would press the button. So, I hope you enjoyed this look at calculators from my collection with round buttons, the Melcor 400, the Unicom Mini 104 Plus memory, and the Sears 728.58821. And thank you very much for watching.